This book is called Home Runs in Heaven by Tracy Sivers. Tyler Nash wandered into his bedroom and climbed onto his bottom bunk. "Mommy," the 5-year-old began, "can I ask you something?" He peered out the window, overlooking his backyard. His mother stopped folding the pajamas in her hand and sat down beside him on his blue and red striped bedspread. "Sure, Tyler, what is it?" Mrs. Nash asked, concern growing in her eyes. It wasn't often that her little boy carried around such a serious expression. Tyler quickly scrambled onto his mom's lap, trying to put the question into the right words. After a moment, he asked, "Is there baseball in heaven?" He glanced up, waiting for his mother's response. After all, moms seemed to know everything. "Well," Mrs. Nash began, choosing her words carefully, "no one really knows what heaven is like, but I believe that heaven is better than anything we could ever imagine on earth." Tyler nodded. "So, is there baseball there or not?" he said again. "If I had to guess," his mother said, "I'd say yes. There is baseball in heaven, and you know what?" She continued, "I bet everyone hits a home run every time that they're up to bat." "Really?" Tyler asked, his dark blue eyes as big as saucers. He was imagining himself stepping up to the plate and smacking a ball right over the right field fence as the crowd roared in the background. "That's what I think," Mrs. Nash replied, reaching for a pair of socks. "How about ice cream?" His mother looked up. "Oh yeah? What about it?" "Is there ice cream in heaven?" Tyler asked. "Of course," his mother smiled. On giant waffle cones stacked high with every flavor imaginable. And the best part is they never melt, not even on the hottest summer days. Tyler grinned. "What kind of music does heaven have?" And Mrs. Nash thought about that for a moment. "Only your favorite songs, and they're all sung by voices more beautiful than any sounds you could ever possibly hear on earth." Sounds amazing. "I wonder if there are roller coasters in heaven," Tyler thought out loud as he remembered his recent adventures at the local amusement park. "Not only are there roller coasters," his mother began, "but I bet they're full of loops and steep drops, and you never have to wait in line to ride them." Tyler was quiet, and then he asked, "Do you think you could go to the movies in heaven?" "I'm sure you could. Just picture a screen that covers up the entire sky and a never-ending bucket of popcorn." Tyler smiled. He loved that idea. Watching a movie. "Mom, are you able to make friends in heaven?" "Definitely, honey," she replied. "I bet friends in heaven never argue. They have sleepovers anytime they want, even on school nights." "Really?" Tyler asked. His eyes were wide in disbelief. His mother nodded. Tyler sat thinking about what his mother had said. Heaven sure sounded like a wonderful place. "What about jelly beans?" he asked hopefully. "Does heaven have jelly beans?" Tyler's mother began to laugh. "Are you kidding me? Heaven has many jelly beans, licorice whips, bubblegum, chocolate bars, lollipops, all you can eat, and you never have to worry about getting cavities." "But I bet there are no birthday parties in heaven," Tyler said with a disappointing sigh. "Oh, I bet there are," Mrs. Nash said, "with 10-foot birthday cakes and candles that shoot fireworks and millions of presents." That's nice. Mom, do you think there are animals in heaven? Tyler asked. I mean, could you go to the zoo? Of course, his mother said. Not only could you go to the zoo, but you'd be able to pet the tigers, ride the giraffes, and swim with the sea turtles. Now that sounds cool, Tyler said as he leaned in for a hug. Tyler looked up at his mother's face. Mom, do you think people give hugs in heaven? Absolutely. I imagine the hugs in heaven to be the softest, warmest, most comfortable feelings, like being wrapped up in 1,000 clouds. There's probably nothing better than a hug in heaven. Tyler sat thinking about all that he and his mother had talked about. He bent down and he kissed the tip. His mom bent down and kissed the tip of his nose as Tyler hopped off his lap. He began walking towards the doorway and then stopped. Mommy, Tyler said, turning back to face her. Yes, sweetie? Is there crying in heaven? He asked, running a hand through his short blonde hair, his brows furrowed in concern. Tyler climbed back onto the bed and he and Mrs. Nash glanced out the window towards the bright blue sky. What do you think? Tyler grew silent as he followed his mother's gaze. Yes, I do think there's crying in heaven, he said slowly. You do? His mother asked, surprised by his response. Yes, I bet there's crying in heaven, Mommy, but only happy tears. His mother smiled and Tyler looked up at her. You know, buddy, I couldn't have said it better myself. The end.